There is but one place in the world to make bells like these. The Whitechapel Bell Foundry. Bell metal is reduced to liquid by the heat of the furnace, and it's cleaned of slag, the impurity that rises to the surface. When it's ready, the furnace is emptied into a giant ladle. Bells are made of bronze, a mixture or alloy of two base metals, copper and tin. The shape of the bell comes from a handmade clay mould. This is produced in two parts, called the cope and the core. The cope sits over the core like a sort of loose-fitting giant thimble, so there's a gap of a few centimetres or so between the two bits of clay, and it's into this gap that the bell metal is poured. Any leftover metal is poured into ingots that will be used another day. The bells were cast on Friday and are left to cool off over the weekend. On Monday, the workers grab for their hammers and they smash and bash and scrape at the clay, desperate to get their bells out. It's an interesting fact that this is the very foundry where the world-famous Liberty Bell of America was cast. It also cast Big Ben, now hanging over the Houses of Parliament. That particular bell weighed in at 13.5 tons and was so huge that the foundry door had to be especially enlarged and shaped to get it out. I don't think we're going to have that problem with this bell. A bit of nifty footwork and the top of the heavy iron housing is lifted away to reveal the clay-covered bell waiting inside. What you can see here is all that is left of the cope, the top part of the mould, all dry and crumbly. After hours of brushing and bashing, it's time to send the bells off for tuning. This instrument measures all the different notes that a single bell can produce. To make the bell sound just the right notes, little bits of metal will be shaved off by this hard steel tooth. In the olden days, it simply wasn't possible to tune bells this well. And there it is, finished at last. But we still have to get it all the way to the top of the steeple. Destination belfry. Volunteers with a head for heights use chains and pulleys to hoist the heavy bells skywards. To help them, they're using an electric winch. Of course, this is a job that's been made much easier by technology, for not so long ago the chains had to be pulled by hand or horse. By the way, did you know that 1 horsepower is just about the strength needed to lift one large elephant over the head of a small child in 1 minute? I suppose that's just about what a good horse can manage. Now the volunteers are using ratchets and chains to help move the heavy bells into their final positions. When they're in the right place, they can be screwed down. Now this is a very important part, the clapper. It has to be screwed in with great care, otherwise it could fall out and hit the vicar on the head. Now, what else do we need? This heavy wooden frame, known as the bell wheel. It'll hold the bell rope and will turn the bell when the rope is pulled. Here are the bell ringers. Campanologists all. A lot of people who do bell ringing for a hobby. It's probably the only noisy hobby that other people don't mind, for this is a most beautiful sound, and one that has rung out over the hills and vales of the British countryside for hundreds, if not 1,000 years.